Thanks for joining us tonight. From the On Your Side investigators, the new president of the State Sheriff's Association says the medical marijuana program in Oregon is out of control. Investigator Anna Canzano joins us now with a story. And Anna, Tom Bergin says there's no way all these people really need medical marijuana.
Yeah, in his latest newsletter to sheriffs across the state, he's pointing to the skyrocketing numbers of people in Oregon becoming medical marijuana users and growers. When this program started a dozen years ago, he says voters approved it, thinking the amount of permits ever needed would be around 500 for people with conditions like glaucoma or terminal cancer. But with almost 50,000 people now legally registered as patients, and the vast majority of them claiming pain as their medical reason to need marijuana, he calls this blatant abuse. At the world-famous Cannabis Cafe in Southeast Portland, advocate Madeline Martinez says the program has evolved over time and regrets that some pot providers are pushing the envelope too far when it comes to the law.
I don't like to go and riff on people per se, but yes, I think that it has become a problem. And I think that if our legislators as well as law enforcement would sit down and discuss this, we could figure out a way to do this really very compassionately, very well regulated. And the one thing is that it protects our children if we regulate.
Martinez isn't going so far as to say the program needs to be revamped, but agrees there is a big gray area in which everyone's operating that could be more clearly defined for the benefit of all those involved. Specifically, she and the sheriff are both talking about some quasi-legal marijuana dispensaries that have been set up, despite voters saying that these kind of businesses really should be illegal in Oregon. And I'll have more on those businesses coming up at 6.
She's really talking about more of a discussion, though, needs to take place.
Yeah, she wants everybody at the table.
All right, Anna, thanks.
Interesting numbers when you hear these two, Anna. As of July 1st, more than 49,000 people in Oregon had a medical marijuana card. From July 1st of last year through June 30th of this year, the state received more than 21,000 new applications, and more than 4,500 applications were still pending.
Now to our top story.
And I don't like to go and riff on people per se, but yes, I think that it has become a problem.
Oregon's medical marijuana program under fire for those just using it as a way to smoke and sell pot legally. New president, in fact, of the State Sheriff's Association calls it blatant abuse, saying Oregon's medical marijuana program is way out of control.
He tells our On Your Side investigator Anna Canzano, at the rate we're going to believe Oregon's 3 times sicker than California. And Anna, more than 90% of these card holders say they're using it to treat pain.
Not glaucoma or cancer. It was initially marketed. Even the biggest supporters of medical marijuana say the program operates in this big gray area, with some pushing the envelope too far.
This is called a skillet.
For Angela Fairless, this is a way of life. She's a medical marijuana patient. She showed us her card. Angela uses it to treat her migraines and post-traumatic stress disorder. She says she gets the politics of pot, that it's a complicated matter. She even gets, to some extent, why law enforcement, like the president of the Sheriff's Association, Tom Bergin, is calling out the legality of some dispensary-type stores.
I admire what they are doing, the spirit behind what they're doing. The intelligence and morality is greatly lacking. And that I have concern about, and I have a strong moral obligation to talk about it.
Dispensaries were rejected last November by Oregon voters, but overall the popularity of the state's medical marijuana program is skyrocketing.
And this is a program that's definitely evolved over the years. It was initially billed to apply to just 500 people. That was an estimation. It's now ballooned to more than 50,000.
Just last year, I went undercover to show how easy it is to get one. I hit up this clinic, paid my $200, and explained the massage therapy I get for my back and neck pain just wasn't cutting it. I walked out with a prescription for medical marijuana and even a free sample from a grower who happened to be in the clinic. Madeline Martinez happened to become Oregon's 500th patient. She's now the executive director for one of the organizations trying to legalize marijuana. But just like with prescription drugs, she says, abuse and profiteering exists. People getting the cards just to smoke and sell pot. It's why she'd be open to talking with law enforcement about better defining the rules.
Darkening the gray areas is what I'd like to call it. I'd like to sit down and have a rational discussion with Tom Bergin and with all the sheriff's associations. We can't even get in the door.
One of the key issues I'm hearing about from both sides really is growers growing much more pot than they're supposed to for their patients and then turning around and selling that on the black market. Right now they're only supposed to have a maximum of 98 plants or less, but no one's really tracking how much of that marijuana they're actually giving to the patients and what happens to the extra pot that they grow.
You can understand people raising questions. With 50,000 folks using medical marijuana, 20,000 now pending on this deal.
Yep.
We'll follow it. Thank you, Anna.